Hi, this is Terry Moss, LED 518, Session 5, Finding Your Voice. My hope is this video will show you how to find your voice, whether that's in social media or just in your everyday walk. 1 Kings 3:9 says, "Give your servant therefore an understanding mind to govern your people, that I may discern between good and evil, for who is able to govern this your great people?" And that takes me back to a book that we had in a prior class, The Way of the Shepherd, where it spoke about knowing your flock and understanding how to get your flock back into line and to um, really getting them to trust you and understand. And um, one of the things that I try to do in my management style is to really um, let everyone know that their voice counts and that they have a voice that needs to be heard in every situation. And so how has writing from an empathetic viewpoint changed my voice in social media is that I continue to do as I manage is that every voice should be heard. And um, what am I aware of that I wasn't as aware of before is that I'm even more aware that every emotion that's tied to each stakeholder, that every stakeholder has a perspective, has an expectation, has a um, understanding of what they heard, what they saw, and that it's so important to understand that, know it, and have each of the stakeholders at the table and have a better understanding of what happened. Even if we don't agree at the end of the day, at least we understand what happened and we understand how we're going to move forward, so we're not stuck in this current rut of just going over and rehashing, but more how do we move forward. And how have I discovered and honed my voice is that I've honed my voice by knowing it's so easy to identify with one stakeholder, yet each perspective holds a value that should be identifiable, and I have to listen to every person within the situation. Um, and what have I learned about the value of choosing my words wisely is the value comes from the form of respect, that each of us have a respect for one another, um, and that each of us understand that at the end of the day, we're all still trying to have great outcomes for our patients, um, for our staff, and for our entire organization. I really enjoyed on Edry's TED Talk about how they found one thing that unifies an entire group of people, very large amounts of people, that war wasn't really what a lot of people want. It's what they want is peace, and they want to love one another. And once they understood what that was, um, even having the one lady that had never met someone from the other side, and just it was amazing how they brought so many people together by finding the one thing, just the one thing that unifies that group. And James tells us, do not, in James 4:11, it tells us, do not speak evil against one another, brothers. The one who speaks against his brother or judges his brother speaks evil against the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. And we have to be very careful to um, be a doer, be someone who listens, that shows grace, that shows understanding, and that shows how we can gain respect for one another and we can grow for one another. Um, Thank you for listening and have a great night.